All right, so I was out here getting ready to do a little preparation for girdle notching, and I decided to go ahead and put the other two pistons and rods in place. So that way, so that way after I finish notching the girdle, I could, just put it on and check and see if we're all clear. After I put the other two pistons and rods in place, I heard the telltale sounds of a little metal on metal action. And while I was thinking at first that it was the piston, it's kind of loose because there's no rings on it and making some clacking, it turns out that's not the case. I'm going to try and get you to see it. See if you can focus on it. You can't, I'm pretty sure you can see it. Let me get something to point at it. It's not my finger. Alright. What the fuck? Oh, I'm filming the wrong. Am I filming the wrong cylinder? Ah, yes I am. And my arm is in the way. It is hard to do that. Right about there and right about there. You can see little rub marks. So the rod's all still passed, but yeah. It's not like what I did before, where the HPs I put in there, the cheap generic ones, where they literally hit and did a full-on stop. And I had to do a lot of cutting and measuring. So this one is I'm gonna take down my other Skunk 2 D rod review. I'm gonna replace it, just because of the fact that it's not a no notch, it's a minimal notch, and it goes for minimal for the girdle too, because there's not that much that you have to take out. In fact, there's so little of this that the contact is so minimal that most of it on the exhaust side didn't even really show a rub marking. So I'm gonna have to eyeball it from across the way to see if I can get it. And generally speaking, I take out more than I think I'm going to need to take out. So, yeah, to talk about those H marks, the slide marks, that's kind of what I was talking about when I was talking about that in that little news update video last night. But anyway, so the whole original idea was to notch this block anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I guess I could make the argument that if I put the rings on, it might elevate the rods enough where it'll clear. But at this point, there's no point in resisting and fighting it anymore. Just gonna notch the block. Better safe than sorry, like Chuck said. So you win, Chuck. I'm gonna notch the fucking thing. Yeah. Anyway, I'm so very confident that we can get this done with quickness here. That UFC Fight Night's coming up, and I'm still gonna go ahead and film this. Yes, sir. Change angles. Nah, man. No matter how good I think I can get this shit, I never can really get it like perfect with the lighting. There's never really a perfect angle. I'm gonna need a fucking flashlight attached to my fucking camera to really get a great lighting angle. Alright, I think that's probably about the best we're gonna see here. Alright. When you're making the cuts, you want to try and keep your hand in a steady fluid motion too, because these particular kind of bits, they're pretty powerful. So if you stay in one spot for too long, it's gonna start digging real deep into it in that one area, and it's gonna be hard to make your passes back and forth. So And also, don't worry about keeping your shit, perfectly for the H-beam size. Now, in one video I watched where Machine Shop had this huge fucking thing that I talked about, like a home machine. They just dropped in, cut, dropped in, cut. They literally cut it the perfect size of the drill bit that they were using. So it was great for them. But in this case, to be sure, so you don't have to do a lot of repeat cuts, you can go ahead and cut broader than you think you're going to need. Just that way, it slows down the amount of time you have to go back over it. Yeah. That's a good size notch there already. So I think that's gonna be pretty good. I don't know why I didn't think about zooming in earlier when I was doing the damn cut. You can see that, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and move over to right on over to the next cylinder. Zoomed in so that way you can see in better detail as I'm doing the cut. Yeah, and always double check your tightness on your bit, and also keep track on your battery life on your gun. To help us go along quicker without problems. Oh, fuck, I'm running up against the block. It's getting tired on the fucking wrist. Yeah. Last one for the intake side. This one I'm just gonna have to guess on because it didn't leave any track marks. Well, but the fact that it didn't leave any track marks means it wasn't digging into it hard, so. Oh, fuck. Yeah. All right, quick pass real quick. Notch, 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 notch. And we're 11 minutes into filming. We've already got one whole side done, and I wasn't even, cutting the whole time. I was doing some talking for a couple minutes. So you guys can really see it's not complicated. You don't have to be super elegant, and it's not very difficult. Just as long as you got the right tools, it's not very difficult at all. My very first adventure with cutting the block, I used the wrong tools, and it took me forever. I used a grinding stone, those gritty stone shits that you can get, and boy, that shit took 8 hours of cutting. That sucked fucking penis. Yeah. All right, cool. The camera might be in the way of me cutting on this side. We'll do it like this. Alright, just drag the fucking stand over. And put the fucking tripod on the other side. Yay, winning. That's the only shitty thing about doing this super zoomed in. You gotta make sure I'm on the right cylinder before I start cutting. Woo. Whoops. See, that's what I was talking about, checking your fucking bit. Make sure it don't fucking come loose. Did you see that? Maybe I moved it too much while I was cutting it. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. A little more polishing here. Oh, because this shit is tiring on the wrist. The urge is to go as quick as you can to get this shit done and over with. I'm definitely on that quick as you can type thing. It just sucks because now I'm going to have to go over and clean this motherfucking block again. And it's not like before. When I was at home in Florida, I used to go out in the backyard with a water hose and just blast it. Alright, so yeah, I didn't realize that while I was cutting that cylinder over there that that shit cut off because my storage was full. You gotta really check out my phone because it doesn't normally fill up as quick as it has been recently, but whatever. That's a whole different story. Anyway, it's literally been like an extra 5 minutes since I've cut the fucking phone off to finish this. Not much time at all. What I was saying is the only thing that sucks, like especially if you're using the bigger, thicker H-beams, is that you can see like there's puddles of metal shavings that are there, and so you can imagine how much metal is in the actual cylinders itself too. So it would kind of suck to have to to clean this and then put the crank and everything back in there and check it and make sure it's clear, and then if it's not, recut and clear again. So I definitely think that the Skunk 2 rods are not a bad idea. I mean, like, it seems, I mean, like I said, like they're claiming it, but they're still not 100% until I get my hands on a set, because I could have sworn I seen somebody make mention somewhere that they had to cut with those no-notch rods from Speed Factory, but I don't know until I ever get hands on them. And now after this whole Skunk 2 debacle, I really want to test them out to see if those are genuinely legit no-notch. As far as the 300, like I know that some of you guys would pay like $380 for the Skunk 2 rods. I've seen them sell as low as $340, right? So look in more than one place. You can find the same product for a little bit cheaper sometimes. But besides that, $225 for a set of generic rods versus $340 for a set of really good rods that are proven up to 900 horsepower. I guess it really just depends on flavor and how much work you want to do. My laziness, as I've said before, is the only thing that exceeds my cheapness. But if you have the right tool, it's really not going to be that big a hassle. So I'm not 100% sure that I would go with the Skunk 2s over generic ones, simply because of the fact that if I'm going to have to cut for both of them, even if I have to cut less for one than the other, I might just go ahead and save myself the $120 and get the generic ones. With that being said, I don't knock Skunk 2 still. I still like them, and I'm still happy to have these rods for this build. But yeah, so I guess that's your own personal preference. Hopefully now that you've watched this video, you're not so super scared of notching anymore, because you can see in that too, like the divots and shit, because it's not a perfect cut, and also, like I was saying earlier, I like to cut a little bit wide intentionally, just that way, back and forth movement of the crank or whatnot, so that way you for sure have it. I mean, I think those notches right there are definitely wide enough, because the H-beams are really, they're not that super thick on the width side, or on the thickness there. So that's more than enough to clear. I think I'm running out of time for right now, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm actually going to drop the pistons and rods in place to see if they're clear. If they hit, then I'll just cut a little bit more, but I don't think they're going to hit, because they were barely touching with no modification at all. So now they're all cut. I don't think they're going to touch at all. So yeah, probably the next time you're going to see a video on the Vitara is cutting the girdle, girdle cutting, girdle notching. I'm going to do that one next. And I guess maybe I'm going to figure out, I'm trying to find the quickest way to clean this thing tonight. Yeah, and I guess that's going to be it for right now. The UFC Fight Night's about to start here pretty soon, 6:30. And by the time this is uploaded, it will be underway. And it's not going to be done until probably like around 1 o'clock in the morning. So the chances of me doing any more work tonight are, pretty slim. But I guess we'll just have to see how that goes, because I don't say I got extra sleep or whatnot. But anyway, we'll just see how it goes. So hopefully you guys won't be so scared and deterred anymore to do the single cam, now that you see that the block notching process really isn't that big a deal, as long as you have the right bits to do the job. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.